everybody. Welcome to Weekly Trash, the safe place to cleanse your mind, body, and soul of all that trash you consume this week so you can consume some more tomorrow. I'm your host, Josie Van Dyke, and I have with me today Demi Engemann for her redemption episode. How are you?
So good. How are you?
Good. Welcome to Weekly Trash again.
Thank you.
For those who don't know, this is your second time.
I know.
Which,
I'm one of the lucky ones.
Yeah, it's really confusing for people because your episode's not up anymore. So they're like, what do you mean it's her second time? And I'm like, well, she was on and then we had to delete it. And so let's address the elephant in the room right away because everyone's wondering. It's probably one of the most common questions I get if I ever do a Q&A or a question box. Where's Demi's episode? So, Demi, why did we have to delete that episode? Today's Dumpster Deep Dive is sponsored by Bucked Up. Are you ready to supercharge your fitness journey? Because at Bucked Up, they are on a mission to help you reach new heights in your health and fitness goals. Their commitment to excellence and integrity drives them to deliver top-notch supplements and fitness products that are formulated with the highest quality ingredients, backed by the latest scientific research, innovative and effective for peak performance, energizing to boost your workouts, and promoting overall wellness. I have been using Bucked Up for 7 years, and it is my favorite pre-workout I've ever tried, which is why I continue to use it every single day. It tastes amazing. It gives me the best energy to have a solid workout. An added bonus, it makes me very regular, if you know what I mean. With Bucked Up, you're not just getting a product. You're joining a community that is dedicated to your success. They are here to inspire and support you on the journey to a healthier, more active lifestyle. So use code WeeklyTrash20 at checkout for an exclusive 20% off your purchase at buckedup.com. BUCKEDUP.com. Because it was my favorite. It was so good.
I know. I liked it too. Well, first of all, I'm so excited for redemption. And then let me just say, I feel so much better today. Going into last time's episode, I was filled with so much anxiety. And I didn't know what it was at the time.
Yeah.
But all of this happened for a reason because looking back, you remember when I told you that it needed to come down, I was super defensive myself. Like, I was like, why did people take this the wrong way?
Yeah.
I don't understand. And looking back now, and this was a year ago, like almost to the date.
Almost to the date.
It's insane. But I'm just able to see it with a little bit better perspective. Going into the episode last time or the interview last time, I was just an anxious, like a ball of anxiety and stress, and I was not in a good place at all. And I think that definitely affected the way that I perceived a lot of the, questions that we discussed. And I will say that I felt like it came off way more negative than I actually lived those things, if that makes sense.
No, yeah.
So for those that don't know, the episode touched a lot on my life before getting remarried. So my ex-husband, having my daughter, getting remarried, meeting my husband, and, just all the in-between, becoming a stepmom. And my ex-husband was actually the one that reached out to me, and he was frustrated because he felt like the way that I portrayed our relationship and just our experience together was not a
accurate.
Yeah, a good depiction of what it really was.
Yeah.
And at the time I was like, well, it sounds like you're just getting offended by like the reality, And I just felt like I was in a very prideful state. And I also think that I was so gung-ho on protecting this narrative of my decision.
Yeah.
There's so much that goes into a decision like that. To end a family, to then begin another family. And I found myself being so defensive of all of my decisions. And I feel like I kind of came off that way in the interview. And at the time, of course, I was in that state of mind, so I didn't see it. But looking back and even thinking about a few of the things that were said, and I was actually talking to him last night, just giving him the heads up that I'm going to be going back on. I'm going to be talking about this. And he reminded me of a couple things that were said, and like hearing them like almost made me cry. Like I was like, that is not at all how I really felt about our relationship. Like there was so much more good than there was bad.
Yeah.
And I feel like at the time in my life, and this was just a year ago, but I feel like I've gone through so much healing and like really been able to look at it objectively and not from an emotional state. I do see where he's coming from.
Yeah.
I understand why it was hurtful to hear me discuss things that we did in that way. And I understand how it came off negative. And then also to bleed into like my step parenting. I was going through so much with that.
Yeah. You guys had only been married for what?
I think a year at that time. But the first 6 to 8 months were just like kind of blissful, you know, and we were just enjoying being married. And then at that time, things really got hard and got real. It was like, no, you're a mom to teenage boys, and like this is so different than being a mom to a little girl. And you're co-parenting not only with his ex, but now you have your ex who's like dating someone else. There was just so much going on. And I honestly just think I don't like, not to not take accountability, because I definitely like do take accountability for the way that I felt at that time. And I also think that those feelings at that time were valid.
For sure.
But your perception isn't always reality. And I think that my stress at the time was definitely bleeding into my perception, as well as holding on so tight to my narrative of, why we got divorced and my part in it and the way I saw myself and whatnot. Anyway, I won't go on and on about that, but that's just basically
the reason why
we
put it down.
Yeah, we ended up taking it down.
Yeah.
That was a long explanation.
No, but I think it was a good one because it's the number one question I get. And when people have asked me, I'm like, she just asked for personal reasons, because I don't want to be sharing, whys, because at the time I was like, I felt the same. I was like, why is he getting so offended? Like, it's not that big of a deal. And now also looking back, I'm like, okay, yeah, that probably was not fun to hear. And so I'm glad that we have you back and we can do a redemption on it.
Yeah, I appreciate you doing another redemption and for being so understanding at the time. And I know that that was hard for you as well, because you were like, I don't want to just like waste my time and like take everyone's podcast down, And so
for sure,
I appreciate you doing that, because I think, not only did it mean a lot to Blake, but looking back, I do regret the way in which I said things.
Yeah.
And I don't want that. I'm thinking
out there
like
forever.
Yeah, like Maud's gonna listen to this one day.
Yeah.
I don't want her hearing me talking about her dad that way, who I actually respect and love as a person. And I think that there's a bigger picture there. So
totally
I'm
is.
grateful to you for allowing me to,
well, I would say anytime, but like, I really hope we don't delete this one.
I know. I'm really like, I'm trying to just be like open and honest.
Yeah, be open and honest. Don't feel like you have to filter yourself so much, because we still want the real authentic Demi, because that was why it was one of my favorites, is because you were just so yourself. So it's funny that you say that you had so much anxiety, because looking back, I'm like, I felt like you were so confident, but it was because you were almost defensive. Like you were trying to prove a point in the storyline that you wanted to tell. So I'm glad you're back, but let's not delete this one. Let's keep this one.
We won't. I'm in a much better headspace.
Okay, good. Can we talk about another elephant in the room, which was the mean comment that I got from your sister-in-law? The way.
Did you get a lot of mean comments?
No.
Okay.
It was literally just her.
No way.
And I actually, like I said, your podcast was one of my favorites, and it was a lot of other people's favorites, mostly because the anal talk that we had for about like 5 minutes, it was literally this tiny of a portion. But Shawnee did not like that portion whatsoever. And I remember that I got that review in and I was like, oh my gosh. So obviously I Googled the name on the review and she put her own real name there. And I'm like,
she
at least hide it.
Yeah,
like,
no, she made sure.
Pretend.
Yeah.
What was Brett's reaction when he saw that? Was he like, typical, or was he like, I should say something?
Initially, I think both of us were like, why wouldn't you come to us first? And then, Brett is a little bit more diplomatic when it comes to these things. And he grew up, so I told you this last time, but
Yeah.
his dad was in the entertainment industry. He
Yeah.
worked at Capitol Records. Like, he's a big deal.
Yeah.
And his family is a pretty big deal when it comes to the public eye. And so
Yeah.
they are very sensitive to those types of things. So I can understand where she's coming from
Yeah.
because they were all born into that. And so it was very much like PR, you know, protect the family's name. And so I think it was just a little bit shocking. Not that they're prudes, because when we have conversations, it's very open, it's
Yeah.
very normal.
Yeah.
But I think it was more just like, again, I think it came back to, and this was Blake saying this. I actually never talked to Sean about it, so I won't speak for her, but Blake was just like, again, like, Maud's gonna listen to this, you know,
Yeah.
like, represent yourself in a way that you'd be proud of.
Yeah.
Maud listening to this in 10-15 years, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that kind of woke me up a little bit
Yeah.
to some of the things. Not that I want to be a prude or
Yeah.
not be open and honest. I think
Yeah.
those things can be really helpful.
Yeah.
But it just helped me kind of realize, you know what, like, yeah, I do want to carry myself in a way that I'm going to be proud of in 15, 20, 30, 40
Yeah,
years, you know. And so I can't speak for Sean, and she's not here, so I want to tread very lightly on that. But I think if I had to guess, that's kind of where she was coming from.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, she's 20 years older than my husband.
Yeah.
So there
Different
is
times.
just such different times, you know.
Different times.
So she's entitled to her opinion, and if it were me, I would have definitely reached out before making a comment like that. But
Well, she really doesn't like me. The comment was basically just about me. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm dreadful. Okay. But moving past that, because that's something people just wanted me to bring up.
yeah,
Obviously it happened forever ago, and at this point I laugh when I see it. I think it's really funny. But for those who didn't get to listen to the first episode, can you kind of tell us what was the ending reason of why you and Blake did end up getting divorced?
yeah. I mean, it's nothing super exciting or dramatic or anything. I think I got more into it last time, just like the whole of the relationship, which at this point, like, it doesn't really matter. It all came down to, we just spoke different love languages, and we didn't do the best job at speaking each other's, you know?
Yeah.
And we just weren't a good match, and we were always just like really good friends, you know?
Yeah.
And
Well, it's obvious because you're still friends.
yeah, exactly. And there's so much respect and love still, but it just didn't work out in a romantic sense. And we're both totally okay now.
Yeah. How did it affect Maud?
There was definitely an adjustment.
Yeah.
Maud is super like ultra aware. Her and I kind of share in that like empathy, like empath, you know, state where we just feel everything so deep. And so she's still, I feel like, going through a little bit of an adjustment. I think it's with me. Like, it's been really, really healing and eye-opening just over this past year to like dig down deep to figure out like what behavior is really telling us, you know?
Yeah.
Because for the longest time I thought, oh, she's resenting Brett. But I think right now, like, the biggest thing I'm trying to work on is like making sure she feels safe, like, as an individual, but also like safe in our relationship.
Yeah.
Because there would be so many times where Brett will literally say something and she just ignores it, and she'll be like, so yeah, mom. And I'm like, for the longest time I thought, oh, she's like not comfortable with Brett yet. But as I've like kind of learned a little bit more, I'm like, no, I think that she might be struggling a little bit with like our connection. So I've been kind of working on that. So it's been interesting to see just the things you get affected by everything in life. Like, we're so sensitive to everything, and especially to energy and just like the emotions I was going through during the divorce, and the emotions her dad was going through, and the remarriages, and the new step siblings, you know, she's been through so much at such a young age, and you think, oh, they're kids, they're resilient, and that's true, but they still are experiencing those things, and they're not able to unpack it the way that we are as adults. So I think that she has been a champ, and she's an incredible human being, and she is going to be fine, but that doesn't mean that it hasn't affected her and that it won't, you know, come out in different times in her life, you know. But I think that's life too.
She was 3 when you guys.
She was 3 when we got divorced. Yeah.
So she was young, and now she's in 1st grade, and
I know.
that's so crazy.
So
oh my
crazy.
gosh. So another thing I want to touch on before we ask new questions is meeting Brett. So Brett is your husband now, and you guys have a pretty big age gap with each other.
40 years to be exact.
47 years. No. For people who don't know, we're kidding. It's what, 10, 11?
16.
16. Okay.
Yeah.
So a little more than 10.
Significant.
And
Blake and I were 12, fun fact.
Yes.
And so
you just like the older men.
I actually don't. It's just kind of like happened to me. I don't know.
That's so crazy. Cause yeah.
I've always dated, I mean, and when you're in high school, you're not going to date someone 10 years older, but like I've always dated someone my age or a year older, maybe 2 years older, and that was wild for me. But Blake just kind of happened. And honestly, I tell that people all the time, I'm like, I think Blake happened to me, one for Maud, but two, so that the 16-year age gap wouldn't be so weird for me. Because it really isn't. I'm like, I've already done 12. What's another 4, you know?
No, for real though. Because how old is Brett?
He's 45.
And
I'm 29.
That is an age gap.
Yeah.
Because he has his not twin boys. He has his teenage boys.
Yes.
Like you said, you're a stepmom now. And when you came on, you said it was a hard adjustment. Has it gotten better?
So much better. Oh my gosh. Yes. If you're listening to this and you're blending a family, just hold on tight because it's a ride.
Yeah.
And it takes so much patience and love and communication and actual work. Like you have to put work into it. But it's gotten so much better.
What things have you guys done to make it better?
I think just like it helps to have a partner who is as communicative as I am. And he really is just so emotionally mature. So if I have a concern, there's been like when I say in the last 3 years, the amount of complaints and just like me griping, there has only been like a handful of times where he's like, I'm drawing the line, like don't talk about it that way.
Yeah.
Or like, that's too far. Majority of the time he's like, let me see where the root of this is and let's resolve it. Because like clearly this is frustrating you and that's important to me to resolve this. So just it's been like honestly communication and just focusing on your own healing. Like I am a massive believer in it all comes back to you. Yeah. So I felt like I was being so triggered by the boys, by Maud, by Blake, by his ex. And finally when I like just looked within and focused on my healing, I was like, oh, this is a me problem. Yeah. Like people are always going to do the things that they're going to do. And like, yes, they can contribute to the stress and chaos, but it doesn't have to affect you the way that we usually allow it to, you know?
Do you think ketamine had a big play in this?
So huge, yes.
Well, let's skip right to ketamine.
Oh,
and
I'm
talk
so
about
happy you're bringing this up.
I've always been interested. I've had friends who have done it. What exactly is ketamine for those who don't know?
Ketamine it's a drug. A lot of people know it as like a recreational drug and they don't have that great of experience. So if you have done it recreationally, this is not the same thing.
How would you do it recreationally? Just shoot yourself up?
I don't know. I want to say it's either snorted or kind of like, I don't know.
Okay. What is it? It's a pill? Because I thought it was like an IV bag and you like sit there.
So that's how the doctor
does it.
If you get it administered by a doctor, that's how they do it.
Gotcha.
But I don't know recreationally. I've only heard a couple of people that have done it and they're like, I did not have a good experience. And it's typically because it's very fickle. Like if you don't get the perfect amount, you have a terrible trip or you just don't get quite deep enough.
Gotcha.
So essentially it's a hallucinogen. Is that what the word is? Hallucinogen?
Asking the dumb girl in the room.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
Yeah.
But similar to mushrooms, I wouldn't say it's anything like weed. I actually haven't done mushrooms, but people that I've talked to that have done both have said it's a similar thing. But what I love about it, not only do I like love the trip, like it's such, oh my gosh, I could cry thinking about it. It is the coolest experience. Like it's out of this world. You just realize in the same moment how small you are and insignificant.
Yeah.
But then at the same time how powerful and incredible you are. Yeah. And that you are like an infinite being that's going to continue forever. And it's just like this realization that's just like nothing matters, but at the same time like everything matters.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
What made you want to do it in the first place?
So it helps with depression, anxiety, PTSD. What it's doing is the drug is actually what's the word?
Wiring?
Rebuilding, or rewiring your brain pathways.
Gotcha.
And so when you experience trauma, when you experience any sort of trauma, you have like a chemical reaction and your brain actually like rewires, like brain pathways will like disconnect, and like brain doctors who have done the science can explain it better, but they've done scans of the brain to show like brain matter and brain pathways, and it'll show like dark spots of matter from people who have gone like who have been in war, who have dealt with like insane amount of sexual trauma or whatever it is that you've dealt with, and then they've given them these rounds of ketamine and it's like lightened up the brain matter and like wired the brain pathways. Yeah. So it's used to help with PTSD, depression, anxiety, and I was just experiencing a whole plethora of all those things.
So your first time doing it, tell us how it went down. You sit there, you get it administered.
Yeah.
And then you just trip?
Yeah. So the first time was a crazy experience. So I'm trying to think when this was. I think it was after our episode aired, and that whole thing with Blake and I went down, and we resolved it, but I just like felt so stuck in it.
Yeah.
Like, and
now there's still a heaviness.
Now I know why, because I needed to work through so much of that narrative that I was trying to hold on so like hard to, you know? But there was that mixed with just like the co-parenting and things not going well there, and stepmom stuff, and then just feeling like this disconnect with Maud. It was just such a heavy time. And I was also withdrawing off of my antidepressant. So all of this was happening at the same time. And I was just like done with it. I was taking the tiniest amount of my Zoloft. Is it Zoloft?
Yeah, Zoloft.
Yeah. And I was just like, I'm done. Like, this makes me feel numb, but then also I'm feeling like I'm not feeling better. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. Like I feel everything, but I can't let it out because I'm numb in a sense.
Exactly.
It's almost like it's trapped.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just felt this like strong sense to come off of it. I had also just gotten on Adderall for ADHD, and I had an absolute like manic episode on it, like freaking out in the parking lot, shaking, like panic attack. And I was like, I need to get off of this stuff. Like, I've always been super passionate about alternative medicine. But it was in that moment that I was like, this is not, like, it's fine if it works for other people. This is not for me. Like, this is not working for me. And oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. I already know. It's why
I got tissues.
I hope I'm not the first person to cry on here.
No, Maddie cried the other day. So you're good. You're good.
Because I didn't wear mascara specifically because I knew that this
Here's the tissues for when they come.
Yes, thank you. But it was just such a hectic time. And then it was coming off of that medication, and I just withdrawed like crazy. It was both the medications at the same time that I think did it, but I just got super suicidal, and it was like there was no other, you know, you feel those low moments in your life, and I feel like everyone can relate to some extent of like, oh, life's overwhelming, I don't want to do this anymore. This was like, no, I'm planning how to do it. I want to make sure Maud doesn't find me. Like, how am I going to do this so that like it affects the people that I love the most the least, you know? Like, I don't want Brett to find me. I don't want the boys to find me. Maud, like, I need to do this in a way that it's easy cleanup. Like, I'm researching these things. Like, I am done. Like I'm out. Dark. Yeah, it's like the only way out at this point. And I could just like feel like everyone's pain from my decision to get divorced. And I just felt so responsible. And I know it was a combination of, you know, withdrawing and like all the hecticness happening and the adjustments and everything. But I could also see and feel the pain of Blake and Maud. And like, I think it took that episode coming out and Blake, like, because Blake's not an emotional person at all. So to have him be so passionate, I was like, I freaking hurt him, you know? And that was just like a wake-up call to me. I was like, I know this decision was what was right for me, but that doesn't mean it didn't affect other people, and that doesn't mean that it's not gonna have like a continued domino effect, you know? And I think it was just that reality where I was just like, I can't live with this, you know? Like, I made this decision, but I just felt like I could not live with the decision, you know? Anyway, so I just was like, I'm done. And luckily, I said something to Brett. I was not planning on it. Like, I was planning on just like being done. And I can't remember what I said to him, but I just kind of mentioned to him, like, in a joking way, which you start to realize, like, when people are serious about it, like, take those things serious. Like,
Yeah.
if they bring those things up in any way, because I think I just made, like, a joking comment, like, as simple as, like, things we say all the time.
Yeah.
But just like, oh my gosh, how easy would it be if I just like didn't wake up tomorrow? Like, I think it was something as simple as that. And like, just goes to show how in tune Brett is to like me, because he immediately was like, no, absolutely not. Like, and really took me serious and was just like,
Yeah.
you are like, I don't even know how it ended up happening because he didn't say it to me. He reached out to Blake and he was like, I'm really worried about her. And it's just so sweet, like, knowing that, like, how easy it would be as someone who's been, like, so hurt in a relationship, is going through the healing process themselves, single dad, going through so much,
Yeah.
craziness at work, to just be like, figure it out, bro. She's your problem now.
Yeah. She's your wife, not mine anymore.
Yeah.
She chose you. So
Exactly. But just to see how, like, they came together and literally, like, saved my life, like, they both. So that's the reason I'm bringing any of this up, is because that's what led me to ketamine. So Blake's father-in-law is the one who administers it.
okay.
So
Okay.
Dr. Porter, shout out to you. You saved my life. And he does it through a company called New Life. So we'll plug them because they
Plug 'em.
are incredible and literally saved my life. And I know have saved so many others as well and helped so many people. But
Had Blake done it before?
Blake had done it before. And so I had heard about it from him before, but I was just like clueless really as to what it was. So he actually took the reins and was just like, we need to get her into ketamine. So they got me in like 2 days later, and that was my first session. And it was insane. Like, my entire divorce came out in that session. And I can't even tell you, like, how incredible, like, I think this is why I have such a different way of viewing that relationship,
Yeah.
because I just realized in that moment, like, oh my gosh, like, Blake freaking loves me. And like,
Yeah.
even if it's as just a human, like,
Yeah.
the way that he was able to, like, not only him, but his girlfriend at the time,
Yeah.
Brittany. So she was there as well in that session. And they were like holding me while I was just like sobbing. And it's so crazy because you're tripping and you're not really there. But like, I kept just calling them in. And I was just like apologizing to Blake for like my part in the divorce and for anything that like I felt like was coming up, and like thanking Brittany for being there for me and for Maud and for Blake, and they just were there the whole hour and a half session and just like holding me while I just like was a puddle. And I just feel like my entire divorce came out in that session. And I did 2 more sessions after that, and then I got to a place where I just kind of was like feeling like stable, and then after that they reached back out to me and they were like, I think you should come in and start your sessions over and do 6 sessions. They recommend doing 6 sessions for like the full benefits in like a 3-week period. And so then that's when I started going in for those sessions and talking about it. And like, I think it was good that I was able to experience it before and get into it like a stable place.
Yeah.
Because then moving forward doing the other sessions, I was able to kind of like articulate it better and explain, kind of what it was all about.
So after those first 3 sessions, were you still suicidal, or had that like gone away?
Completely went away.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so when you say your divorce came out, what does that look like when you're tripping? Like, are you seeing flashbacks? Are you reliving moments? Is it just feelings? Like, what is it like?
Everybody's experience is different. For me, I will see images, but it's more just a feeling and a knowing. Like, this is where my passion for like everything you have is within you.
Yeah.
It stems from ketamine, because when you get into that state, all these things that you feel like are so overwhelming and like you just don't have a sense of direction and you're just like, where am I? Where am I going? What is going on?
Yeah.
You're just kind of like, oh, it's all right here. And so it's more of a feeling. It's like, and realizations. Like, it's your subconscious putting things together that you maybe weren't able to understand from a logical mind.
Got it.
So, feelings that would come up, I was able to, articulate and like put them into words and then process it and, get it out in a sense. It's
Like
really
you saw
cool.
full picture almost.
Not with the divorce. A lot of like the baby stuff that I've been dealing with of trying to get pregnant. I have seen a lot of like images with that and like friendships that I feel like I've had to kind of mourn. Those have been more visual. My divorce was just like flood of feelings. And it's weird because those sessions are definitely more emotional. Like I was sobbing, shaking, freezing, adrenaline just rushing. And then there's some sessions where I'm just like at peace and at ease and I'm seeing things and I'm not emotional. So every session is so different.
So are you done? Are you still doing it?
I have done 6 sessions. I want to do it for the rest of my life. Like you can do as many maintenance sessions as you want.
Yeah.
I plan to do at least one every couple months.
Does Brett do them with you?
Yeah, he does.
And does he love them as much as you?
He has had a couple of really good experiences and then he's had a couple of bad ones where you go into a K-hole is what they call it. It's when you have a little bit too much and you feel like you're dying. You feel like you're dead. Like essentially.
Wait, that's terrifying.
Yes, it sounds terrifying. I find it exciting and I know that's creepy. And dark.
It's kind of weird that I kind of want to try it because I want to be one of those people that feels it.
I am not kidding. We need to do it. We need to podcast after.
I'm so down.
You would have the deepest realization, like we would have the deepest conversation you've ever had. Let's do it.
I'm so down.
Okay.
Cause that is a lot to like feel all of those things and process all of that at once. But I'm sure it like cleanses you. Like you probably feel like weight has been completely lifted off of you.
Oh,
after each session.
Oh, I can't even explain how freeing it's been. It's been the most incredible thing ever.
Yeah, you've convinced me. I kind of already was convinced before you even came on, but I'm definitely more convinced now. Would you ever do ayahuasca?
Absolutely.
Because I feel like the ayahuasca is like even a bigger step. It's more spiritual. It's not as like doctory. Like it's a plant that's in the middle of a rainforest.
Yeah.
But I also want to do ayahuasca.
I would be so down for that as well. And I will say I've had a lot of really cool spiritual experiences on ketamine.
That's what people say too about ayahuasca. It like you see God almost.
Oh, yeah. No, I literally have been like right there with God. It's insane.
That's insane.
Like, I don't know how this is for you, but I have had some like pretty, trauma is a strong word and like it's overused, but I've had some religious trauma for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that anyone who grew up in any sort of religion can relate to some sort of religious trauma. That may be part of it. It may be part of the journey, part of the experience. So that's the way I like to look at life. Yeah. But when it comes to me and my religious experience, I've just realized it's so much more about me and my relationship with God. But I never really, I believed that there was a God.
Yeah.
But I never had any of those experiences that you've heard of, like, oh, I know he's there or I can feel him there until ketamine. And I was like, that is my Father in heaven and he is right there with me. Like, I can tangibly feel him right there. And that was the first experience I've ever had, ever, like that. Wow. It was really, really cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
You said that in your experience, you've also had moments about, trying to get pregnant and like feeling of peace of why you aren't getting pregnant? What was coming up in those sessions about that?
Yeah, I think a couple of the visuals that I was talking about, it was like me running in a field with just babies and kids and just wanting it so bad. And then a couple of realizations of just like, not right now. And that's okay. just be patient, like not right now. So I have found a lot of peace, and not that there's not hard days where I'm like, it's all I want.
Yeah.
But I definitely have found peace throughout the difficult process of just like timing really is everything. And like God's right there and he loves you and he wants that for you. He wants that for you more than anything. But like he also knows when the right time is, like all in God's time, and just like learning to trust that a little bit more.
Have you been to a doctor about what's going on? Like, do you know why it's taking so long? Have there been any answers?
So I was diagnosed with endometriosis, and I'm just taking a little bit different of approach. I know that I could probably go in and get the surgery for that, I'm a little bit more alternative in that sense, where I'm like, if something's off in my body, to me, it's tied to something emotional. And so I've been trying to focus more on healing the emotional part of me. And I think I mentioned in my last episode that I really had the worst pregnancy and the worst postpartum. And I really struggled. Like becoming a mom was really hard for me. And I think I'm still healing a lot from that as well. And so I'm just focused right now on healing and just like getting into a good emotional and mental place so that I can be the best mom that I can be. Yeah. And that just feels right to me. And
I think that's great. Yeah. Because we did talk about it last time about how postpartum was really hard for you. And it's interesting how it is so hard. It was so hard, but you still really want it. Like you still crave having a baby again and going through all of that, which in a sense is a good direction that like you are healing because, you do want that even though it's hard. So I'm sure down the road, it's all gonna work out. Yeah. Like it's all gonna go into the right direction and you'll have a good postpartum. Yes. You won't have the depression and you'll get to be a mommy. Yes. But you already are a mom to 3.
I know.
3.
It's crazy.
That is, how old is the oldest boy?
He just turned, he'll be 19. He'll be 19 in a few months.
He's a senior though, right?
No, he graduated. He's in college, yeah. It's wild. It's a wild time.
That is so crazy. So you guys had kind of drama house stuff. You're trying to get a house. The rent situation, they were saying, get out of the house and you're trying to get a new place. You're at a new place now.
Can I tell you something about that?
Yes.
Sorry, we can get back to this.
No.
We got you like haven't put a deposit down for when you rent, whatever. Yeah. They asked for like double, which some people do. Some people just do like first month's rent, whatever. But some people do double. So we thought, oh, no problem. We'll get it back. I think our deposit was like $5,000 or something. We got $500 back. And do you know what the main expense was? We had a damn gopher in our yard. And I'm so embarrassed to even say it because I would look outside and there was like mounds of dirt that would be in the yard. And I was like, did someone come and aerate? Like, what is going on? But I never like looked into it. Oh my gosh. We had a freaking gopher.
They had to fix the gopher problem.
Yes. So.
Oh, you guys needed a dog. And then the dog would have scared the gopher away. Oh.
Like how that shows my mental state and where I was at like, while we were living there.
Why is there dirt piles everywhere? What's going on, Maud? What are you doing in the backyard?
No, I genuinely thought so because here's where I think that they are wrong for this. They were in charge of the yard. So why was it our responsibility to like detect the yard and the holes in the yard?
Yeah, right? They would have noticed. Yeah, that actually doesn't add up.
No.
That does not add up at all.
Nope.
We need a lawyer.
I know.
We need to call someone up.
If you're a lawyer.
We need that $4,500. But you did end up finding a place.
We did.
Are you renting again?
We're renting again. So I'm trying to remember. I think it was after. Yes, it was. So much freaking happened during that time.
It's crazy. It's only been a year.
I know. So after that, after I went through and sorry, this is my dark humor coming out, but after I almost killed myself and after I went through all that stuff.
All the shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
We almost bought a house. We put an offer in on the house. We offered like $120,000 more than the person that we were like competing with. And they gave it to the other person. So then I slipped into a little mini depression again. Yeah. It was like right around Christmas time. So I told Brett, I was like, we're not decorating. We're getting this house. Yeah.
I'm not decorating until we're in our house.
Exactly. We didn't end up decorating. And then we ended up not getting the house. And then we ended up just celebrating over at my sister's house because we didn't have a damn tree. So
that's not depressing at all. Like that probably didn't help whatsoever.
No, it was so bad.
Just wake up Christmas morning to nothing.
Oh.
No Christmas.
No.
Sorry, kiddos.
I know.
Did you have Maud? You didn't have Maud that Christmas, did you?
No, which was another reason
why. Yeah, let's just pile it on. Let's go.
It was a year. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So do you ever feel jealousy because like Blake has his house and like that is a past life that you could have lived if you didn't get a divorce? Do you ever feel a sense of like jealousy? Like I wish I was in a house with you, but like not with you, but like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No. I'll be honest, no. I'm just so happy for him, and I'm happy for him and his wife. And I'm so happy that Maud at least had one place to go that felt like home. And they made it so cute and like homey and nice for her. And this was the one thing I was jealous about. She always wanted to spend more time over there. And I'm like, I get it, but like also wait.
Yeah.
Like I want to spend time with you, you know? So that was the one hard thing is that all of the kids actually, because the boy's mom, they live in like an 11,000 square foot home.
Yeah.
And then Maud's dad lives in this big, nice new home. And so they were like,
we don't want to be here.
We'll see you guys once a month.
You're like, okay, we need a better house now.
Yes.
We need more space.
We had to kind of buy back their love a little bit and get some more space, and things are going well now.
That's good. That's good. You seem to have a really good relationship with Blake's wife.
Yeah.
When he did he ever approach you and say, hey, I'm going to marry her? Was there ever like a conversation, or was it like, surprise, we're engaged?
No, we were involved in the entirety of their relationship.
Oh, really?
Because it was a little bit up and down.
Gotcha.
They dated shortly after Brett and I started dating. And then before her and Blake got together, she was like engaged.
Oh, okay.
To another guy, or about to get engaged, or talking about getting married. Yeah.
Okay.
And she ended up going back to him and then came back. So Brett was actually Blake's therapist during that entire thing. Like
he's like, dude, I get it. This is my third marriage.
Yes. Like, here, I got an ear or two.
I can help you out.
Shoulder to cry on. I'm here. So we were very aware of like the ins and outs of their relationship. So nothing was really a surprise. No.
And you liked her right off the bat because you guys, again, seem to have a great relationship. Is it ever weird seeing Blake with another like woman, or seeing Maud with like a stepmom?
No. I mean, there's that natural like adjustment to, oh, this, like, we were married, you know, and like this is new, you know? But no, like, really initially it was just, I want Blake to be happy, you know? And Brittany and I click on so many levels. Like her just like even the way of life as far as like medicine goes, and just
because her dad's
health
the
and
one
wellness.
that
Yes.
did it.
Yeah. Like she's super passionate about the things that I'm passionate about, like gut health and like emotional therapy and just like all those things that I feel like we have so much in common and so much to talk about, which makes it very nice and cuts the awkwardness.
Totally.
But again, like I can't speak for her. I'm sure there's been like an adjustment on her end as well, you know,
because you guys are so close. Like that, me personally, if I got divorced,
you want to never see them again.
I would never, like, please don't come into my life. Like, I'll see you at drop off. I'll see you at soccer games or football games or graduations, but I'm not trying to have dinner at your house. I'm not trying to decorate your house for you.
Yes.
Like, I want those boundaries.
Yeah, we've done both of those things.
Yeah. So it's very unique, but I also think some people might think it's weird, but I think it's healthy that you guys are able to still be in each other's lives for Maud.
Yeah.
I think that's huge for Maud.
No, it's good for sure. I feel like we found a good, healthy balance because before Brittany and Blake got married, and especially when they were kind of in the ups and downs and like figuring out if they were going to get married, we were like over there all the time. Like, literally, I was over there decorating his house. We filmed the pilot of the show over at his house. Yeah. And we were like in his home filming it there, you know? And so there was definitely like, I remember there being weirdness, and I'm just now remembering this, but I remember there being weirdness where I was like, wait, you guys don't want us here all the time? Like, weird. Why, Brittany? Like, I don't get it, you know? And then I'm like, oh, duh. Like, we all need our own space. We all need our own, like,
Yeah.
our own routine.
Life.
And there needs to be that.
The boundary.
Yes, there needs to be that boundary. So after, jumping over that small adjustment or hurdle, I think things have been really good, at least from my perspective. Things have been really good and respectful, and everyone just respects each other. And I think that's key.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the show.
Okay.
I have to know, why did you film it at Blake's house? You're like, my house isn't cute enough.
No, literally because there was nowhere to go in my house to film. We had one little tiny sitting room in the front area. It was a glorified apartment. Like, for everyone who thinks that I'm dramatic, it was 1,800 square feet, and there was 5 of us. And 3 of those people were over 6 foot. So it was freaking cramped,
Yeah.
So there was not, like, a ton of space to film.
Yeah.
And they also were interested in our dynamic, and we were, like, in the zone of, like, going over there often. And Maud's school is right down the street from Blake's house. And so I would pick Maud up and then go take her home to change and do, like, after school snack and stuff, just because it was right there and convenient, So we were just over there a lot, and it was just normal at the time,
Was Blake okay with being on camera?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there was a couple things that were brought up that he was kind of like, I don't like the way that was said. But he was like, yeah,
like, I'll
whatever.
sign the form.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you can put my face in it.
And I don't know if he's going to be, I don't know.
Well, is the show happening?
I don't know. I don't know how much I can say.
Gotcha.
Because
it's been one of these things where it has been teased and, oh, it's coming. It's coming. We're just wait. It's coming. And first it was, oh, we got to wait because so-and-so's not doing so hot. Or, oh, we got to wait because, COVID or something. Like, just random things coming up. And it's like, so now what? Like, we're just waiting for people to buy it. We're just waiting for, like, what's going on?
All of those are true. And we've been taken through all of the same, like, ups and downs and just confusion, because they don't tell you a lot. Like, they'll give you little, like, hey, we met, and then you won't hear from them for a month. And you're like, okay, is it still going? Like, it's but once I learned the industry a little bit better and understood that there are shows that are, like, super successful that took, like, 7 years to get picked up, I'm like, oh, we're one of the luckier ones that we're even, like,
in the process,
that we're being fought for by multiple networks,
Yeah.
So yes, I will say, yes, it's happening. I can't give details onto when or who or any of that, but yes, it is happening. And
that's exciting.
So yeah.
If anyone has no idea what we're talking about, it's basically, like, what would you say the show premise is?
I would say it's the whole allure of it is young Utah moms that are also involved in social media. And I think it's just such a crazy concept of all of us pretty much grew up doing social media because it was like the tail end of our high school experience or like all of high school for some of us, and then into motherhood, that it's just such a crazy take, if you think about it.
And it's so Utah. So Utah.
Yeah.
Because we all get married when we're 12.
Exactly.
And so it's just a different dynamic.
Yes. Then there's that whole aspect of, like, we're all young moms, but we're all it's an interesting concept. So that's basically the premise of the show.
Well, I can't wait to see it when it comes, hopefully soon.
Because
it's funny because I've had a majority of people who are rumored to be on the show come on the podcast. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, well, maybe by the time they come on, the trailer will be out. And then it's like, oh, maybe when they come on, the trailer will be out. Okay, maybe when they come on, the trailer will be out. And so who knows? Maybe
next year
when we do this again, maybe the trailer will come out.
Let's just make it a yearly thing.
Every September we'll just have you on and we'll do a whole. Maybe next time we'll do ketamine first.
Yes, please.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So with life, where do you see life going the next 5 years? Do you guys want to stay where you're at right now? Obviously, you want to stay in Utah because of, Maud, kids, school. But what's in the works for the Engemann family?
I think it all depends on, this show could change our lives in a huge way for both good and bad. We could have a couple babies in the next year or two. I say couple because I kind of am hoping for twins.
twins?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you do IVF?
I
Because you say you like the more different approach to medicine.
Yeah. I just learned that there's a way that you can do it without all the hormones.
Oh, really?
So I would consider something like that. If it got me twins, yes. Because I'm thinking twins and then I could be done, you know?
2 for 1.
Yes. So hoping for a couple of babies. Would love to be able to build a home. Like that's been my biggest thing for the last couple of years. I just feel this like underlying nesting vibe the last couple of years.
But you've never had a permanent place. Like it's always kind of been up in the air.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think I'm just feeling this sense of like, I want roots. I want land. I want a home. I want to create a home and a safe space for my family. I want to feel present. I want to have a good routine. It's just so nesty of me.
Yeah, I love it.
So domesticated. I'm growing up.
Are you baking bread? Are you
Not
churning
quite.
butter? Like,
Not quite.
What
There
else
yet.
are we doing?
No,
Okay.
I just feel like I just have this sense of wanting like what feels natural. Like, which if that's like I don't look at my phone for 2 weeks, I'm not looking at my phone, and I'm extremely present with my kids, and I'm extremely intentional with conversation with my husband, and we're turning the TV off, you know? It's just like honoring what feels right to me, you know?
Does it scare you about doing the show then with that kind of mindset?
Yeah, it does. It also scares me for the kids. I was talking to Angie about it today, actually, about
which is your kid's stepmom for those who don't know.
Yes, sorry. So I was just discussing, you know, what that would look like.
Because she was on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, so she kind of gets it.
Yeah, so she kind of understands how the reality TV world can be, and not every show is the same, but, you know, it's hard because you can only control so much.
Yeah,
and
you're not a producer.
Right. So when it comes to the kids, especially for Maud, like, I'm glad that she brought it up because she was just kind of like, I just don't know if I want the boys involved at all, you know? And then she was like, what about Maud? And then instantly I was just kind of like, it's crazy because the boys can actually like understand it a little bit more and consent or not, but like Maud's not old enough to do that.
Yeah.
And so I'm just grateful to have like that perspective before going into it, because I don't want to regret anything.
Yeah,
especially
like looking
when
back.
Yes,
and being like,
especially when it comes to the kids. Yeah. But my goal with that is to just be completely authentic and just be me, and similar to how I feel with social media. If I'm feeling burnt out and I feel like it's too much, or if it's getting in the way with connecting with my husband or my kids, like it'll take the back burner, you know?
Which I think that's a good mindset. It is hard though when that is how you're making money.
Yeah.
And if that is the way you are able to get the house of your dreams and things like that, and that's when people get stuck. And it's like, well, I've bought all these things, I've done all this, I can't just put this to the side now.
Yeah.
Like, do you have like a game plan for, you're like, okay, we are going to be smart. Like if we become the Kardashians, if we, like, we need to find a way to where this isn't the only source of income is this show. Because what does Brett do for work?
So he does real estate. He also does consulting for like
Gotcha.
different businesses, and like raises money for personal investments and real estate investments. So he has his thing that he does. And if all else fails and it's just not working, I'm not afraid to walk away. And I'm pretty good at like honoring myself in that way, you know? And I think I've proven that enough throughout life to be able to go, you know what, if this is not working, or if relationships start to take a toll, I'm going to check myself, you know?
Do you think over the years you've gotten less materialistic? Because I feel like I've seen you talk about it before, and maybe I'm totally making this up, but I feel like you've said before, like you've cared less about the materialistic things once you married Brett, and it's like you guys have a completely different life. You're trying to merge all these kids together. You're living in a 1,800 square foot home. Like you've become to a point where you're like, okay, not all these things matter.
Yeah. I don't think that there's necessarily anything wrong with having things.
Yeah.
But I think my mindset now is just like more minimal.
Yeah.
Like I find for me that the happiest I feel And the most content I feel is when I'm doing less and when I have less and when I've just cleaned out my closet and I'm working with less in my closet and I'm worried less about what I'm going to wear for an event and more about like how I'm going to connect with people. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, I love that.
So I would say I definitely have an appreciation for nice things. Like I pride myself in like, I want my garage to be dialed. I want everything to have a place. I want to drive a nice, reliable car that like I enjoy the look of. I want to have a nice wedding ring. I want
Yeah.
to, there are things that I definitely can appreciate, but I think that it very quickly can take over and it can distract you from the things that are most important in life, which are relationships and connecting with people.
Which is this world right now is really hard to connect with people because we're connecting through a screen with literally everything that it's
like a false sense of connection.
Like I'm noticing myself just like scrolling and I'm like, what? My kids are in front of me. Like I can look at this Instagram story later. Like I won't be able to relive this moment with my kids right now, but it's like this just addiction to just like be in the realm of what's going on your phone.
Yeah.
And it's scary.
It's hard. And I think everyone can relate to that. So you got to give yourself grace because we live in that world and it wouldn't be realistic to just turn a complete blind eye to it and be like, not at all. Like that's the world we live in. And you just kind of have to find that balance, which is hard and it's not going to be a perfect linear process. But you're also doing way better than you think that you're doing. And the fact that you recognize it shows that you're intentional and that you care.
For sure. And I just have to do a good job of, the comparison too with social media. It's like, don't compare yourself so much because that's where you really, what is it? Jealousy is the thief of joy. And it truly is.
Oh yeah.
So, well, I'm excited about, the show and all the things that it'll bring. Hopefully we see it soon. But that means it's time for personal trash now because we've done our little dumpster deep dive on Demi. What happened to you this week? Any good trash? Any things you want to discuss? Personal Trash is sponsored by Club Soda Utah. Club Soda was founded in 2020 by Sydney Reed when she was 16 years old. After recently working at a catering company, she saw that many people were planning parties, weddings, and events with DIY Utah soda bars. If you live in Utah, you get the hype. With the hassle of having to buy everything, come up with a menu, all while trying to enjoy an event, she decided to do something about it. Club Soda is a full-service wedding and event soda bar with a goal to be as memorable as can be for your special day. With Soda Club, your soda bar can be yours. Come up with your own specialty drinks or use curated menus of popular drinks created by Sydney. With over 7 years of event and wedding experience, Sydney has seen the soda bars and she knows what she's doing. They are a fun way to have something unique yet familiar at your event. With everything taken care of, all you have to do is show up and enjoy your day. So obviously, I'm using them at my weekly trash party and I cannot wait. The drinks are going to be iconic. So go follow her on Instagram at clubsoda_Utah, UT. That's CLUBSODA_UT. And get ready to have your little soda bar just the way you want it. Any shows?
I haven't been like a huge show person lately, mostly just because there was just hecticness with the move and everything. We didn't even have a TV up for the longest time. But we did just get done watching the new Ultimatum. Okay,
I have never watched it because it looks so bad.
This season was bad, but I will say the first season I think there's 2 seasons before. I think this was season 3. You need to watch.
Well, because the whole premise is basically either we get married or we break up.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, well, it sounds like you just need to break up.
I know.
If that's the ultimatum, it doesn't sound like one of you wants to marry you.
Yeah, it sounded like you guys have made the decision.
Do people actually end up okay at the end?
Do you want to know for this one?
Yeah, I'm not going to watch it. Spoiler alert.
Okay, spoiler alert. If you're invested in the Ultimatum, which is the most random show to be invested in, they all end up getting married. Which is bizarre because the other ones, like, they end up... So you do a trial marriage with someone else who's there. And a lot of them end up hooking up. They end up with the other person, like, not the person they came with. So this was shocking. They all ended up with the original person. And they ended up getting married. And like,
do we think they're going to get divorced?
I think a couple of them will, yes. I hate to put that vibe out there, but yes.
But it almost seems like they're just doing it for like the fame. Like, let's get married, make some money off of this.
I don't know. I mean, maybe. It's hard to know. There's so many shows
That's
now.
the thing. I feel like every show's like that now. And that's why none of the dating shows are that great, because I'm like, do you even care?
Yeah.
Like The Bachelor, that's gone to shit.
Dead. Although I am excited for the golden one.
Okay, Matt James's mom is one of the contestants.
Okay, wait, I'm stoked.
Yes. Is that not amazing?
Cute.
And the guy's like super good looking.
Yes.
He seems like your type to me. You know,
I
like
know.
Really
I'm not going to
old.
lie. I'm getting hot
Demi's
bother.
like, wait a second. Third time's the charm. Should I go on this show?
He's just 75.
Hey, what's another couple 30, 40 years?
I've done 12 and 16.
Let's do 40.
Let's just start multiplying.
Yeah, it's fine.
I am excited about that, though.
I think I'll watch that one.
It's just new and fresh. Like, we've seen it all with The Bachelor, and it slowly was... After Brett went on, like, it just really went downhill.
That's what it was. That's totally what it was. And it was Claire's.
Yes.
Claire blocked me on Instagram.
What?
Yes.
Hey, hold on, I need to say this. And if I have you blocked, I apologize, because I think that there's something weird.
Where it's blocking me. No, this was intentional.
Okay, tell me, because
this was intentional. No, she did her pregnancy announcement where she was at it was like a clothing line to like dry up clothes.
Uh-huh.
And it was her and her husband, or they're engaged. They're either engaged or they're married. And they're putting the onesie, and next to the onesie is 2 tiny pink shirts. And then there's like a pajama dress, like a lingerie pajama dress, and then like a big t-shirt. And there was no clarifying anything. Like, there wasn't like, oh, this is so-and-so's shirt. And so it looked so weird. I was like, whose pink small t-shirts are these? Like, what was the organization here? And being a pop culture girly, and like, I podcast and talk about this kind of stuff. So I posted the reel of her announcement, and I'm like, I'm so confused. Like, what is going on? And she saw that and blocked me. And I was like, wait, what? And
instead of like clarifying,
because the caption didn't say anything. I guess the pink shirts were because he has 2 previous daughters.
Oh.
But that wasn't in the caption at all. And like, nobody knows that about him. He's not like in the eye of the public. So nobody knows. So I'm just sitting here like, what the fuck are these 2 pink shirts doing? What is the lingerie? And what is going on?
Yeah, that's
And she was very offended, and she blocked me, which I get it. Like, protect your space, Claire. I get it. I was giving you toxic energy.
I came into your lane.
Yes, protect it's your space. Block me. Totally.
Yeah, that's
hilarious. I blocked. Claire blocked me.
That's kind of iconic.
Yeah, Claire blocked me, and so did she was on Selling Sunset. She was like the evil one.
Oh, I never saw that.
You never watched Selling Sunset?
No.
Christine Quinn.
Okay.
She blocked me because she always talks about how rich she is on the show.
Yeah.
And one of her high heels had like a sticker where there used to be like a tag, like a Nordstrom Rack tag. You know what I'm talking about?
Ooh.
And I noticed it in a clip. And so I zoomed in and I said, Christine, we're shopping at TJ Maxx. Like, times are tough. And she blocked me.
That is incredible.
She blocked
you're
me.
getting blocked for like things that like
I'm
you're doing
out.
God's work.
Yeah, I'm pointing out things that need to be pointed out to the public. Like, I know Nordstrom Rack doesn't sell Louboutins.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's going on here, girl? I'm just very visual.
Times are tough.
Yeah. So
I love it because guess what?
People.
Those people need to be called out.
They need to be humbled.
And
the fact that they blocked me makes it very clear to me that those were from TJ Maxx, or something is up, because
I hope she finds this episode.
Yes.
And I hope she knows we know.
She's gonna sue me. Chris, she's petty like that. She's gonna come for me. Defamation. She's like, I do not buy my shoes from Nordstrom Rack. That is a false line statement.
You're being served.
Yeah. Yeah. Some trash for me this week is I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put a trash can tattoo on my body.
Okay, where are you thinking? Because that's a big deal.
It's a massive deal. And the reason why it's even happening is because when I got my butterfly tattoo.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, are these new?
So this one I got right before I got pregnant with Bentley and Brooks.
Okay.
And it has 2 B's in it for Bentley and Brooks. And now I have Bentley, Brooks, and Banks. So
Cute.
I
Okay,
need to get another one. But I'm getting 765 because Bentley has 7 letters, Brooks has 6, and Banks has 5.
Cute.
So I'm getting 765. So I got that taken care of.
Very cute.
But when I got this, I was surprising people with what tattoo I was gonna get, and people were like, "Oh, you're gonna get a trash can," and I was like, "Over my dead body, am I putting a trash can?"
Yeah.
I was like, maybe one day if I like hit 10K on Instagram, and then I hit 10K on Instagram, and I'm like, shoot, and at my party that I'm throwing, there's gonna be a tattoo artist who did my tattoo. So I was like, okay, that would be kind of fun if I got like a little teeny tiny like trash can or just something that resembles weekly trash.
Yes.
And so on my Pinterest board, I have all these like placement spots and I'm like Pinteresting like cute places like, oh, back of the arm, side of the arm, blah, blah. And there's a common thread in all these pictures. And it is these women are skinny, very skinny. Okay. And a tattoo on their arm looks a lot better than my bat wings. Okay.
No,
and I'm not prepared to put something on the back of my arm. Like it's not going to look good. But Hailey Bieber, it looks great. Like she looks flawless and somehow she looks classy. Where if I did it, I'd look actual like trash. Like it would be because somebody's like, do it in the back of your neck. And I'm like, ooh, cute. And I look at these women on Pinterest and they're these like cute Hailey Bieber type girls. And I'm like, I would just look like I came from the trailer park if I got that.
No, you need to work on that.
I'm concerned.
Self-image because that's not true.
No, I don't think it would look good whatsoever.
Okay, wait.
Concerned.
Can I ask you something and then we can go back to that because I do want that's important. We need to work through that.
Yes. Ketamine will help. I should probably do that.
Tirzepatide.
Yes.
How's it going?
I've lost 12 pounds.
Incredible. Congratulations.
But I feel like it's like baby weight. Like it should have been coming off naturally anyways because it's like the weight that I gained pregnant. I'm like 5 pounds away from my pre-baby weight. And so I feel like once I hit that mark, that'll be a good indicator on like how well it works because that's like more stubborn fat and that I've been holding on to for years. And so
and also you've been making babies and having babies for
4. Well, I have Bentley who's 4, Brooks 2, and then Banks.
Yeah, so 5 years.
I haven't really had like a big enough break to really even get rid of any stubborn fat.
Yes.
So I'm hopeful. I hope it works because like I'm so active and I've been active for so long that I'm like, I just want my body to like match that work.
Right.
It's not necessarily that I want to be this like teeny tiny Hailey Bieber girl, which don't get me wrong, like I do, like kind of like, especially on my Pinterest board, I'm like, damn. But I just want to feel like my body matches how fit I am.
Yes, that makes sense. So do you have a goal in mind or are you just kind of like, I just want to.
No, like let's talk numbers. I have a goal.
Okay. What's the goal?
So when I started, I weighed 195, which is kind of crazy to me because I don't feel like I looked like I weighed 195.
Not at all. That's shocking to me.
My BMI was just like so off. Like it was like, yeah, you're obese. And I'm like, am I though? Because I just ran 5 miles. Like I don't think I am actually. And so that was always really weird. So I don't know if my muscle mass is just like a lot thicker or heavier or I don't know. So I started at 195. I'm 182 today. Okay. My goal is 145. Okay. Which the thought that I have to lose almost 40 pounds, I don't feel like I look like I have to lose 40 pounds.
No, that is like absolutely shocking to me.
So that's what's so crazy.
That's the muscle talking.
Well, and that's why I think it's important for me to talk numbers for anyone out there who may be struggling like me, who feels like the scale does not match how they feel. Their effort doesn't match. Like there's so many things that come into play with your weight. It's not just fat or muscle or what. There's so many things.
Absolutely.
And so I was always hesitant to share the numbers, but I'm like, I bet there's someone out there that's like me, that's like, I'm almost 200 pounds, but I'm fit and I work out. Like that's not.
Yeah, it's not making sense.
Like, no, like you are healthy. The BMI scale is so inaccurate and you're okay. But yeah, I don't feel like I need to lose 40 pounds. So it's more just, I want my body to, I guess, look like I weigh 145. Because I think if I lost 40 pounds, I would look sickly. Like, I don't think I need to lose 40 pounds.
No. And that's the thing where I was going to say, is it a number that you have in mind? Or are you also taking, the mindset of as you go, Because what if you feel
Exactly.
insane at 160?
Yeah. And that's the
know?
thing. Because even for me, I feel like if I weigh 170, I'll look like I weigh 140 because that's kind of how I've been my whole life. Like my scale has literally never matched the way I look. Like back in high school, I looked like I weighed 115 pounds and I weighed 135.
Yeah.
So I've always been like 20 pounds heavier than the way I looked. So I'm just kind of going.
Wouldn't that be nice? I'm the opposite.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Do you want to talk numbers?
Yeah, let's talk numbers since we're crunching.
Since we're crunching numbers. No, but like I really am just trying to feel like my body matches. And once I feel like my body matches, then I'm gonna get a tummy tuck.
Okay.
and then we're gonna get rid of all the loose skin.
Are you done having kids?
I'm done having kids.
Okay. Like
and
you're for sure
yeah,
done.
99.9%. Like
Okay.
I'm gonna schedule a vasectomy for Caleb.
Okay.
Like it's
And you
like,
feel good about
I
it.
feel good about it. I feel like we're
Complete.
completed. And I look at my kids and I'm like, I don't think I can be a good mom to more.
Yeah.
I really don't think I can.
Good. That's honorable to be able to recognize your limits.
So yeah. And so with having babies, you know, and the gaining weight, because I also gain like 80 pounds when I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
So between gaining weight and losing weight, because I work out, I do lose that initial 30 pretty quickly. I have a lot of loose skin. And so
Yes.
the only way to get rid of that is to cut it off, which is where
Yeah.
the tummy tuck comes in.
I think so many moms can relate to
Yeah.
that.
And to the women rolling their eyes, they just don't get it. And that's
No.
okay. Like, it's okay if you don't get it.
Yeah.
And you can judge me all you want. It's fine. But that's what I'm choosing to do for my peace of mind. And so far, I've been on it for it'll be 7 weeks this week. I take my shots on Friday,
Okay.
which is so weird taking shots. I feel like I'm a heroin addict or something.
Did you see me tell you to split it up? Like, how are you
Yes.
doing as far
Yes,
as
I did.
like sickness?
Yeah. Have you done it?
Yeah, so I actually just got done doing it. I did 2 months of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Tirzepatide?
Yeah.
And-
I honestly, this is, and I don't want to come off insensitive in any way, and this
Yeah.
is my own personal experience, so hopefully it doesn't, but I was like, I can't get pregnant, so I'm going to get freaking skinny. Like, I need to control something right now.
Like, I want to feel hot.
Yeah. And
you can feel hot at any body type. We're not body
Totally.
shaming. It's personal.
No, and this was mental. This was going through hell for a year and a half, 2 years, and then really turning to like through my depression, turning to just like comfort, whether that was food. And it's not like I got like massive for me, but for me, I was just like, my mindset needs to shift. Like I'm looking at food in a different way.
It's
and
like-
I've never looked at it in that way where it was
It's
like
toxic.
Yes, it was becoming very toxic. And I will say tirzepatide has healed that for me again.
That's
like,
I'm kind of waiting for that to happen to me.
okay, it'll come. I think it will. I mean, at least for me, it was like, oh, you had 5 bites of that. You're full and you're satisfied. You're done. You can leave the rest on the plate and that's okay.
See, I don't get full.
What?
That's what's so crazy. Is like I get full, but it's not like I ate half of my portion. I can eat a full damn Cafe Rio burrito.
So what do you think that is? Do you think that your stomach needs to shrink a little bit in order to get to the point of where the hunger cues are telling you you've had enough?
Yes, because that's the other thing is I don't feel like I'm going to throw up either.
Okay.
Like I only feel sick the day after my shot.
Okay.
But then after that, like I could eat 2 bowls of cereal or something and be like, oh, okay.
So how are you losing the weight?
That's why I'm so I think it's just like the baby weight's coming off because I work out every day.
Okay.
I don't think it's really the eating because my eating habits have changed, but nothing crazy. Like when I hear people say like, I have to force myself to eat. I'm like, bitch, when's dinner? Like,
Yeah. But your
don't have
hormones
that
could be
issue.
so off right now too.
Yeah, I think
that-
that's a big thing too.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because what was your dosage?
I was diagnosed. I was prescribed 50, but I took 12.
And you had results. I'm at freaking 0.75
Wait, what's 0.75?
or
How many units?
75 units.
No. No, I was literally taking 12 and a half units twice a week. So I would split it up. So I was taking 25, but I would split it up Monday and Wednesday.
You know, something's wrong with me.
What in the world?
No, I think I'm just like a freak of nature. I think here's the real thing. This is what I tell my friends. God didn't want me to have a 6-pack and be like skinny because he knows I'd be so full of myself that like nobody would want to talk to me because I'd be like, guys, I'm so fucking hot. Like if I looked like Cara Loren, I'd be naked right now. I would have an OnlyFans and that is how I would make a living. And God's like, we can't let that happen. So we need her to have some flub.
You just are literally prescribed the highest amount and you're like, I don't feel
like, give me the freaking bonbons and the
that is like
burritos.
Nothing's gross to you. Like I had aversions to certain foods like mayonnaise and like sugar. Like I only wanted protein and veggies.
I do only want protein. I do notice that, but I've always kind of been more that way anyways.
Okay.
I will say, I do notice small changes. Like with the cereal, I used to be able to eat a full bowl. And like 3 weeks ago is when I noticed, oh, I actually don't really want to eat this. This doesn't taste good.
Okay.
So I am noticing like some differences, but
7 weeks.
But nothing to the extent of other people.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to compare because I'm like, wait a second, you're over here saying you're going to throw up if you eat more than a couple bites of this and I can finish it.
So have you talked to the doctor about that?
Yeah. And they were like, well, maybe we should up your dose, but I don't want to up it too much because I'm like, I'm already up pretty high. And it's making, because when I was at 25 and 50, I wasn't throwing up and feeling sick the day after. But once I got up to 75, that's when I started feeling sick. So then this last shot, for people who are like, we don't want to hear about tirzepatide. I'm sorry, fast forward. Yeah. But I went down just to 70. So I just took 5 off and then I felt fine. So I'm at 70 right now. But
that is so high.
Like, I still don't get the crazy side of, I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to ask Brittany's dad because we'll drop a plug again for him.
Yes.
He's the one that I was doing ketamine through as well. Yeah. So he does it all. He gets you skinny, everything. Healthy. He helps you heal your emotions. But I'm going to ask him about that because that seems off and weird to me.
I know. Everyone I talk to is like, wait, what?
And I really worry about like your organs and heart taking something that high.
Yeah.
I would definitely like, I'm going to text you and find out.
Cause and I have an appointment meeting with them next week because it is so strange. So I don't know. I'm a freak of nature, like I said.
Yeah, that's weird.
But you had a good experience, I guess.
I did. I mean, I did it for 2 months. I lost like 20.
What?
Like 20.
You had 20 pounds to lose?
Yeah, I lost 20 pounds. I mean, for me, I will say, and is it tacky to talk numbers or is that real?
I literally said it. I was like, let's talk numbers. I said my numbers.
Because maybe this is helpful too, because where you felt like you looked smaller for your number, like I feel like I look bigger than my number. Like I weighed myself this morning and I was 121. So when I started, I was 146.
Okay.
Or 148, I think.
Okay.
So is that almost 20 pounds?
Yeah.
Like just shy of 20 pounds.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
in 2 months.
Yeah. Like, but I did not have an appetite at all. And I was very protein focused.
Okay. Cause like when Whitney came on, she was basically anorexic.
Yeah.
And that's not healthy.
Yes.
And so like you were still able to eat proteins and stuff.
Yeah. I was definitely not eating as much as normal. Like now that I'm off of it, I'm like, I got to really watch it because I'm feeling the hunger like coming back. Yeah. And so I'm just still trying to be more protein focused so that I can like stay satiated. Yeah. Because it all comes down for me where I'm just like, I just want to live a long, healthy life. I want to feel like I'm always in shape, like my organs are protected, that I have a body that can produce babies and like function properly and that my mental health is good. Like that's what's important to me. Like looks is on the bottom of that for me, you know, like it's a bonus. So for me, like I want to continue to be like protein focused, and I was terrible about being in the gym because I wasn't eating. Like I'd stand up and get really lightheaded. And I would feel like I would get sick after the shots. And so I didn't really have the energy to work out hand in hand. And so now I'm like, okay, now that I've kind of resolved that weird blip that I had with the food, I'm like, okay, I want to go back to like hand in hand with like exercise and like being active again. So, anyway, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy that you lost 20 pounds in 2 months.
I know.
And because like my big thing,
12.
Like my big thing with this whole thing is I feel like it gets a lot of hate. Like a lot of people are like, oh, you're taking the easy way out, or oh, this is toxic or whatever. No, I don't feel like it is. I feel like it's changing a lot of people's lives in like the best way possible. And it is curing that like food noise that they have in their head or whatever. I just want to make sure I never get to a place where I am basically anorexic. Like,
Yes.
and I think people who are using it in that sense, that is toxic. But I think if you're using it in a way to just help you with portion control, help block that food noise, help you just get like a little jumpstart, because it's not, if you, yeah, you can do it and lose a ton of weight, but then if you don't change your lifestyle, you're just going to gain it all back. Like, and then
people forget too that like it really does come down to like the food you consume and then the output. Like, I think it generally comes down to that. Are there things that play into it, hormones and pregnancy and all this stuff? Yes. But I think it really does more so come down to the food aspect. And then they'll get so much hate for focusing on that.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we were over consuming.
Yeah.
It's okay to recognize that, own it, and then go, I'm going to help myself reel it in.
Yes.
And then also on top of that, like when people are in this state of like depression and anxiety, it's the last thing you want to have to worry about. Like, you don't want to have to worry about what you're eating and not eating.
Yeah.
So to be able to have that brain working to tell you, hey, you're good. Like, I'm satiated.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
You don't need to be emotionally eating.
No, you don't need to be turning to that.
Yeah.
Like, to me, I think it's like a massive like blessing.
Yeah. Well, because I definitely am a binger. Like, I binge. That was like my eating disorder. My whole life is binge. And then I would either puke or I'd be anorexic for like 2 days.
Yeah.
And then it was like a horrible cycle, which probably has really fucked me up. And that is why I probably don't lose weight like normal. And I don't have, because my body's probably just like, we've been in like fight or flight, baby. Like, what are you doing to us? And then you get pregnant and I'm like eating whatever the heck I want when I'm pregnant. And then I'm not pregnant and I'm breastfeeding, but I'm starving myself because I want to lose weight. So I'm not producing milk. And so then I start eating to produce milk, and then my body, like, my body's just really confused.
Yeah. I'm so sorry you've been through all of that.
It's definitely emotionally exhausting.
That is exhausting.
Seeing, you know, how hard I work and just feeling like nothing's getting me to where I want to be. And this is kind of my last resort. Like, I hope it's curing people's lives. Like, people truly are becoming happier and healthier and fitter and all the things. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to give it time. But yeah, I don't know why I'm a freak and it just isn't working as fast. But that's the thing on TikTok. You get so many people being like, oh, for me, it took 12 weeks. For me, so I'm like, okay, everyone's different.
Yeah, you can't compare.
Who knows? But yeah.
And it makes more sense that you're just coming out of like being pregnant. You have those hormones stacked against you. Like, you have those small percentage of things, unfortunately, but also fortunately. I think just like see it through.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I said this in my solo podcast, like, I'm not angry with my body. Like, I've been in points in my life where I'm angry and I'm frustrated and I hate my body. I don't feel like that. Like,
good.
Because I know it's a phase. I know that I'm going to feel beautiful at some point. Like, I'm okay with just feeling kind of frumpy right now. Like, I really am good and I'm fine. And people have messaged me being like, you're beautiful. And I'm like, I know. Good. Like, I know I'm beautiful. I just am a little chunky right now and that's okay. like I'm just in that postpartum phase and I'm happy about it. And I referred to Amber Filler up and how she's just so open with like, you know, loving her body at every phase and like wearing clothes that some people would be like, oh, I can't wear this because I'm in my postpartum era.
Right.
Like, you know, and she's like, no, I am going to wear it. And following people like her has made me be like, yeah, it's fine. Like, this is my body. Like, it produced a human. It's cool. It's whatever. Yeah. But I also think it's also okay to want to have, the body that you work so hard for. Yeah. Yeah. Just take care of yourself.
Yeah. I think that's a whole seasons thing, you know? And just enjoying every season because there's going to be 7 million different seasons.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see what I'll look like in 10 years. I feel like every 10 years I look back and I'm like, ew, I was so ugly 10 years ago. So that's good. Like, we're working our way up.
Yeah.
You know?
I think right now, and how old are you again?
27.
27. Okay. Yeah. I think it's safe to say our age, we're only a couple of years apart.
Did you just turn 30?
29.
I was going to say, you're not 30 yet. Okay.
No, but I feel like at our age now, I feel like it just gets better.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you feel like you're becoming more natural?
Yes.
Like, I got rid of my eyelash extensions, which I had never done. I mean, I still have hair sewn on my head, Botox in my face, and filler in my lips. But like, overall, which I didn't 5 years ago. Like, overall, you know, I took off my lashes, so that's huge. It's huge. Yes.
Natural is.
I'm just noticing like my natural hair color is what looks good on me, and like I don't need to be self-tanning every second. Like, it's okay if I'm a little pale sometimes,
Yes.
like I'm just noticing it's okay to be a little more natural.
Yeah.
The
And I
older you
think that
get.
the world's kind of moving in that direction, which
Yeah.
I am obsessed with,
Same.
because it's like, oh, a little bit of blush on your cheeks and like putting on a cute outfit that you feel cute and sexy
Yeah.
in. Yeah, that'll do it.
That's good enough.
Yeah, good enough for me.
I
I
love
love
it.
that.
Love it. So yeah, I guess all my trash is basically tattoos and tats. But I think I'll probably get the tattoo, honestly, on my ankle.
Okay. I think that's a
I think
good
like
place.
really tiny, just like right there.
Yes, I
I
love
think
it.
that's what we'll do. I don't know yet.
I think that's a good, safe.
It's safe.
Yes.
It's safe. If it wasn't a trash can, I'd probably put it somewhere more visible, but I'm just like, it's a trash can.
Yes.
So of course that's my brand.
Yeah.
Trash. But
I know.
It's fine.
It's perfect though.
It's fine.
Very on brand.
Anything else happened to you this week besides watching the Ultimate?
I know. I feel like that wasn't like really trash.
No,
like,
it was just talk.
Yeah. I mean, trying to think of something specific that I can point to. I feel like Brett and I have been having like the craziest conversations
Oh,
lately.
I thought you were gonna say sex, and I'm like, oh, we're going there again.
Oh no, we're not wrapping it up with that again.
No.
No, we've just been having like the craziest, like in-depth conversations. I just feel this, and sorry to get so deep. Like I feel like this whole thing has been deep.
No, we love that.
But I just feel like we've been having the craziest in-depth conversations, and I can just feel this shift happening. I just, when you can feel that the universe is like, you're like in sync with the universe.
Yeah, everything's going right.
Yeah, and everything has felt so hard, but that almost excites me. I'm like, something is in the works, and I can just feel it brewing, and I'm like, these conversations that we're having and the way that we've been connecting, and like the things that like we've kind of been avoiding, that we're like blowing up and having these conversations, and then it's turning into like this connection that you didn't realize that you could have. I just feel like we're growing so much as a couple and growing so much as individuals, and it's exciting. And I feel like it's just aligning with where we're supposed to be in life, and that's a really exciting, cool feeling. I know that's not really like trash, but
no, trash is anything.
It's
trash
exciting.
is literally everything, because we all have it.
Yeah.
And it's just something that consumes our thoughts and our mind.
Yeah.
And
I guess my optimistic and positive outlook on my trash, because it was freaking hard, like the conversations that we were like faced with, and like the things that we were like having to either like, okay, we're having this conversation and figuring it out, or like throwing in the towel because I can't do this. I think that's almost empowering to talk about and inspiring to talk about, because I think a lot of times, I mean, I know a lot of times we compare and we think that everyone just has this picture perfect life and that there's not work. And that's the exciting part about a relationship, is the work, because that's where the depth comes. That's where the joy comes. That's where the seeing each other fully vulnerable and as you are, and accepting each other as you are and where you are comes. And like, that's the true fairy tale love, And that's exciting to me. Like, it's exciting to step into that depth.
Well, because I remember when we came on last time and we talked about, you said it was just like this passion, like just this like sexual tension, passion. And that's great. That's awesome, but do you feel like now there's more depth to it?
So much more depth.
Yeah.
And not that that's not there, or that it's taken a back seat, because it's definitely there, but it's so much more special. Whereas before it was fleeting, and now it's exciting because it's like, this is a reward for the work that we're putting in and the depth that we feel for each other, which is like, to me, like true love. And like, that's true love to me, is like you're continuing that growth with that person, and you're committing, and you're not giving up on that, and you're like continuing to put in that work. But it's really cool to see it get better and deeper.
I feel like we're in that same spot where it's like, I look back and I'm like, wow, I thought our marriage was good, but now it's like there's so much more depth to it. I mean, there's a lot more personal work and that I've done and my husband has done to like make ourselves better, to then be better for each other, and just like care more about things where it's like, oh, we'll just put that to the side. It's not that important right now. Like we'll figure it out later. And it's like, no, let's put it in the forefront. Let's figure out how we feel about this and certain things. And so we can come together and have these deeper conversations. I feel like 3 years ago, me and my husband's conversations were so like surface level and just like, how's your day? Good. Cool.
Yeah.
Love you. Bye.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, oh, well, we're not fighting. Like everything's good. Like we're not fighting. It's easy. So like we're good. But it's like sometimes you have to have those in-depth conversations where it gets deep and it gets more emotional
Totally.
for
I love
for your
that.
love to feel more real.
Yeah, like disagreeing and fighting in a sense can be a sign of like an extremely healthy, happy, thriving, evolving marriage.
For sure. For
So
sure.
I totally get that. I love that for you.
Love that
Congrats.
for you.
Thank you.
I think me and my husband should do ketamine though together.
Yes. I say do the first session alone to get a handle on the dosing. Make sure that you have the right dose, that you like
So I
have
don't
the
have a
right
K-hole.
playlist. Yes.
It's called K-hole.
Yes, you don't want to go down a K-hole.
Okay.
But you want to have the right playlist, you want to have the right dosing, you want to make sure that you're like, okay, I didn't like that I was in jeans last time, like I want to be comfy, you know, like you want to make sure
I'm
that
never
you,
in jeans,
yeah,
so we're good
yeah,
there. We are good there, okay?
Good. Okay, you won't make that
I'll
mistake.
be in these pants, my big
Yeah.
old comfy pants.
But like really the littlest things can kind of ruin the experience for you. Like you went in shorts because you were hot before, but then you got freezing because the IV makes you cold, you know, or you
Yeah.
forgot to pee before, so you had to get up mid IV, and so you're walking like a zombie to the bathroom, you know, so you're making sure you didn't drink a lot before, you know, or you felt sick because you ate too soon before. Just little things. You just want to make sure you get a handle on it. And then after like 2 or 3 sessions, then I would do one either in the same room or do one where you guys like do one and then you come into the same room and talk after,
Yeah.
and then you do one next to each other, you know.
When Brett got into the K-hole,
Mhm.
I don't know why that word is like K-hole. I just think like, you know,
Yeah.
butthole, but
Yeah,
like
a-hole.
K-hole, a-hole. So when I'm surprised he wanted to like do it again. Like, was it not super scary?
It took some convincing, to be honest.
Because you said it happened multiple times.
Yes, and I just think this is men and women. I think that women are just a little bit more intuitive. Like they know their limits. They know it's why guys will get so drunk and just be complete idiots,
Yeah.
because they don't know their limits.
Just blacked out.
Yeah. And so I think he'll like push it and do too much, or he's just not like completely as in tune to what is feeling like he's honoring himself. I just feel
Yeah.
like women are a little bit better and more natural at
Yeah.
that. And so I haven't had like, I've had a K-hole experience where I was listening to a dark song, and it's funny. You start to realize like how sensitive our spirits are to things like media and songs.
Yeah.
Like the way I've changed my life just in that sense of
Yeah.
what I listen to. If I hear a song, and it could be a totally fine song that has a note that makes my spirit feel sick, I turn it off. Like I've become that extreme where I'm just like, nope, that doesn't feel right to me. And like, or a show, like I've changed the media that I consume so much, and with social media, with the movies I watch, like I just have realized like how spiritual we really are. And I'm like, nope, I'm not going to make myself vulnerable to that. Anyway, long story short with his K-holes is that he went down one the first time and it was like the worst experience for him.
Okay. I just can't get over the K-hole. Like, why do they call it
Sorry,
that?
I don't know. I should just call it a dark hole, or you feel like you're dying.
The K-hole.
But I went to go grab his hand, and he's like, it felt like a skeleton, and I felt myself going down into the earth. Like he literally fully felt like he was dying, and he was like, turn on the lights. Like it was scary. Like for him, I mean, I was like, you're totally fine, dude. Chill.
Yeah,
you're in a room. You're totally fine.
Yeah.
But like when you go down that and you're not able to compartmentalize that you're in a room, that you're safe, that this is a 45-minute drip, that this is just an experience, that you can't die from it. He has a lot of fear. And I feel like I've let go a lot of my fear. And so to me, I'm like, it's going deep and it's going dark, and I allow myself to go there because that's where I've had some of the deepest realizations and breakthroughs. So I look at it as like that's part of the experience, whereas he's like, change the song, turn on the light,
I'm
like
scared.
get me out of here. And so it's just different levels of what you can handle, what you're wanting out of the experience. For me, I'm like, I want to elevate. I want to be to the next level.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm like,
Bring it on.
Yeah, bring it on. And for him, he's like, I cannot handle that right now.
Yeah.
So it's not that one's right or wrong. It's just like preference, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, the K-hole, I've been down 1 or 2, and it basically just feels like you don't know if you're dead or alive. It feels like what you think it would feel in your deepest fear of, what if there's nothing after this? What if it just ends? It feels like that.
Oh yeah, that's intense.
Yeah.
That's intense. Well, I'm doing it.
Okay.
We're gonna finish with Trash Topic Can.
Okay.
Trash Topic Can is sponsored by Babe Original. If you follow me on social media, you've witnessed my lash journey from extension free to fabulous, thanks to Babe Original's lash serum. It's the essential lash serum, and it is truly essential to my life. It's been a game changer, and now I am proudly flaunting my beautiful long lashes. Babe Original has become part of my daily routine, and their products are pure magic. And I'm thrilled to share that their latest launch, their hair products, promote beautiful hair and promise to be as amazing as the lash serum. So use code weeklytrash15 for 50% off your products at babeoriginal.com. BABEORIGINAL.com. And let's have long lashes and beautiful hair together. And I have not written any new ones in forever. So
Since the last time?
Yeah. So who knows?
Okay. Sorry, I got really parched.
No, you're good. What's in your swig? What's your drink of choice?
How long do you have?
2 pumps of coconut, 1 pump of sugar-free puree.
No, literally. Every time I go, and sometimes they have your orders like logged,
pre-done.
but then there's times where I'm like, just my previous order. They're like, oh, we don't have them. So I'm like, okay, get ready for this. It's a 44-ounce sparkling water, sugar-free peach, sugar-free vanilla, sugar-free coconut, sugar-free raspberry, and coconut cream.
Okay.
And I just realized it's basically a strawberry breeze with no strawberry puree. But every time I order that, they put the freaking strawberry puree, and I'm sucking up strawberry chunks, and I can't be having that. No.
Do you like a lot of ice or just a little bit of ice?
I'm a lot of ice girl.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm not a swig person, but
okay,
I was
so what's your beverage?
I was like, I'm going to get a lime Ricky, which isn't even a swig drink, apparently. I like go online. I'm like, I'll have a lime Ricky.
Where'd you even hear it? That's like an alcoholic drink.
Well, yes, I know, but there's also one at Arctic Circle. It's like grape and Sprite and lime, I think. So I pull up and I'm like, I'll have a lime Ricky. And this girl looks at me like, I'm sorry, what? Like, we don't have that. What is that? And I'm like, shit, I don't know. Like, you're asking the wrong person.
Just stop making me feel dumb and make what you think would be a lime Ricky.
What sounds like a lime Ricky? Okay, Sprite. Okay, Ricky. I'm not sure, but figure it out. Okay, raspberry Ricky. Come on. But yeah, no, it was a little awkward, so I had to Google it right there in front of her, and we're like, okay, grape, Sprite, lime. Sounds good. But when they gave it to me, it had like this much ice in it, and I was pissed.
No.
And I didn't even get a styrofoam cup because I got like a smaller size.
Oh, yeah. You got to go with the bigger one.
Yeah, I was really pissed. I'm like, this isn't right. This is wrong. I don't like it. So.
Dang it.
Yeah.
So you've never been back?
No.
Oh, I go there twice a day, girl.
At my party that I'm throwing, we're doing custom like weekly trash
What is
drinks.
this party that you're throwing?
Okay, so I'm throwing.
That I haven't heard about.
You need to get on my Instagram more. You need to engage with my content more, Demi. So I'll show up on your For You page.
I don't go on anyone's.
I'm throwing my season 2 launch party. Okay. And so there's going to be free food and drinks, and then I'll be selling my new merch.
Where is this?
It's going to be at the studio in Draper.
Is that like
It's the old high school. Have you ever been? Okay, do you know Maven Medical? It's like a Botox.
Yes.
It's in the same parking lot as that big building, old high school.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just gonna be a party. And then Ricky, who was at Brooklyn's wedding, the DJ.
I didn't go.
Oh, I didn't go either. I'm not friends with her, but
okay.
But Ricky was the DJ guy.
Okay.
And he's DJing at the party.
Oh,
and
fun.
So there'll be the last 30 minutes is a dance party from 7 to 9. It's just like food, eating. There'll be tattoo artists, permanent jewelry, piercer, my merch, food, and then dance party.
And this is when?
It's September 19th.
Okay.
It's a Tuesday. Girls' night out. It's free. Everyone come.
Fun.
But what was I saying? Was at my party? Oh, drinks. I don't drink Sprite or I don't drink soda. And so I don't know what tastes good. And she has all these like custom drinks, but they're all named like weekly trash themed. So there's one called the TRASHTOPCIAN. And it's like orange juice, pineapple juice with Sprite. Like it's going to be super cute. I'm
Okay,
excited.
that is very cute.
That'll be fun.
I
But, yeah.
love it. Do you
Come.
have one
You better
name?
come.
I just need to do one, and I'm sorry to all the fans and
No,
haters.
you're good.
But do you have what was I gonna say?
Alcohol? Where are you
No.
going with this?
No, I was gonna say, do you have one named? And then I forgot the freaking name. Forget it.
Oh, I'll tell you all the names. Maybe it'll come in your head. So there's one called the John Doe, because we call guys John Does.
Okay.
There's the Trash Topicana. There's the Weekly Trasher. There's the Dumpster Deep Dive.
Amazing.
There's the Trash Queen. There's the Juicy Josie.
Cute.
Or the Josie Juice or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, you need something with juice.
Yeah. And then I think that's all of them.
Very cute.
But if you come up with any fun little names, give
Okay.
them to me
I'll let you know.
and I'll add them to the list.
Okay.
I'll add that drink and you can name it.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do it. I'll think of something that's on brand for me.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. What's the trash topic can?
Okay. It is most illegal thing you've done.
Oh. You're like ketamine.
Yeah.
It's ketamine's legal, so.
Yeah, it is legal and it's administered by a doctor. So
Yeah,
totally
so you're
kosher. Probably sex in a public place. That's illegal, right?
Yeah, that is illegal.
Yeah.
What was the public place?
I can't say because it was recent.
Shut up. Like, are we talking like a dressing room?
I cannot say where. It is bad. It's very bad.
I
like,
hate that you're
no.
leaving us on a cliffhanger.
I
Okay,
know.
can we just have one hint? And then you can tell me off the pod. Would
Yeah.
you eat there?
No. You
Okay.
would relax there.
You would relax there. Okay. All right. You would relax there. I've had sex in a public place as well, somewhere where you would relax.
Okay. I mean, I've had sex in multiple public places, but
Yeah.
this was like as of this week.
Okay.
So if people follow what I'm
Okay.
doing, they'll
Then
know where.
They'll know. Yeah. They'll know. They know. I know.
Yeah.
I know. That's
No.
awesome. I love that.
But that's probably the most illegal thing aside from like, I mean, speeding and
Okay.
I'm driving on an expired license right now, but
Demi.
no, I need to get it done.
I actually didn't even know my license was expired. I like went to renew my registration and they were like, "Oh, by the way, you need to go do the driver's written test because your license is expired." And I was like,
Wait, so how long
Because
was it expired?
I guess it had been expired for like 2 years. And I had no idea. And I was like, and apparently there's a warrant out for my arrest and like all this stuff.
But how did you travel in those 2 years?
No.
Okay, so you just
I didn't go
know.
I didn't go out of the country or anything, so I had no
Okay.
idea. It wasn't until I went to a bar with Macy Neely actually,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Your driver's license is expired," and I was like, "I'm sorry,
Oh.
what?" Like
But those
those,
expired?
no, I was like, I thought they just like renew and like send you a new one every year. Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? And then I went and they're like, "Yeah, you have this warrant out. You have your registration's past due. You're all this stuff."
So this was recent
it was.
when you were 26?
Yeah, it was recent. I actually talked about it when Courtney Cahoon came on when I very first started the podcast. And we were talking about driver's ed and things. And I had to do this test. I had to redo the test because of it. And I thought I was going to fail for sure. I was like, I need to take a test. Like, I'm an idiot. Like, I need like at least 7 days of studying to take any sort of test. And they like gave me the handbook, so it was fine. But like, hopefully that doesn't happen to you. Like,
I
if
know,
you go
well,
to the DMV and they're like,
Brett's is a year expired. And he was like, you need to get it. You need to get yours done. I'm like, mine's been expired for literally a month. Yours has been expired for a year. What do you mean I need to go get mine?
did you change your last name legally?
No.
What's your name on your license?
That's the thing, is that's why I have it,
Yeah.
because I want to go change that so that I don't have to do everything again. Right?
No, yeah.
So I just need to like buckle down. This week's nuts. Next week, I'm just hoping I don't get pulled over before then.
It's just like one of the most annoying chores to do.
I
It's
know.
Like, it's like housekeeping stuff. It's like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just one of those things that you put off forever because you dread it.
Well, the
But I
DMV
need
is the
to-
worst.
Yeah. And I've never actually, fun fact, I've never changed my last name.
Oh, really?
So I don't know how to do any of that.
What was your maiden name?
Key.
Key.
Yeah. So it's been Key since
That's kind of nice. You kind of like foresaw a divorce coming. You're like, I don't need to
know,
change
I'm
my
like,
last name.
I don't know.
Because
Yeah.
if I got a divorce, honestly, I think I'd probably keep my last name as Van Dyke because I wouldn't want to go through all the work.
Yeah.
It's so much work.
I know. And even if you're like, I'm getting rid of it, like realistically, let's be
Like I'll
freaking
change
for
my
real.
Instagram handle, but like I'm not gonna like
Yeah,
legally
you're not gonna
change
go
it.
to the DMV. Are you
It's
kidding?
too much work.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
DMV sucks. I'm trying to think of the most illegal thing I've ever done. It's probably the same thing. Sex in a public place. Drink underage. Speed. Did you ever drink underage?
No.
You didn't drink in high school?
First time I drank was 23 or 24.
Really?
Yeah. And it was a short stint. It was like through my divorce. And
Yeah.
then I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah. It's poison.
It's absolute poison. Like
Poison.
jacking up my gut. And I was like, this isn't adding anything to my life.
Yeah, no. I don't get it. Like, I used to be one of those people where if we went on vacation, I would like get drunk on vacation. But then I was like, because my kids weren't there and I never want to do anything where like my kids, I'm gonna have to be a mom.
Right.
Like I want to have like freedom to be like sleeping until like 3 p.m. So if I have to be a mom, I'm not drinking. So vacations were the place. But then I'd wake up and I'd just like feel like shit. I'm a routine girly and I like my routine. And if I have a hangover, there is no routine.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't like this. And also I rather eat my calories than drink them.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
like I don't want to poison myself.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. I am actually that way with pretty much every substance that has to do with like altering your state.
Yeah.
Unless it's being used to like heal and like find deeper
Like you don't like recreational,
No.
like the weed and the,
No.
yeah.
I don't. I just don't see any benefit to it.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
Might be a hot take, but
I know. I don't know. Yeah, there is something so underrated about being completely content with your natural state.
yeah.
Like that to me is pure joy. If you can go about life and not feel like you need something to
Enhance.
like
The-
even caffeine for me, I'm like,
Oh, see, I can't relate there.
okay, but I do my matcha. Like I have
Oh,
my
I hate
matcha.
matcha. I think it tastes like butthole.
Really?
Yeah.
I love
Do you like milk?
it. No, I don't.
And you like matcha. See, I think matcha tastes like milk
Really?
and I hate the taste of milk.
Interesting. It tastes very earthy to me.
Yeah, I don't like
But
it.
I also do it with like a soy milk or an almond milk, so it tastes kind of like earthy and
Okay, gotcha.
you know, because I can't do milk.
Gotcha.
But I do my matcha, and that's like just the caffeine in matcha. It's supposed to be like a slower burning caffeine and like more natural. So I just can't do caffeine because I get super anxious. So people who don't, I understand it. But even that for me, I'm like, this is kind of a flex. Like I don't take anything.
No, that is a flex.
I don't take caffeine. I don't take antidepressants, anxiety, Adderall. Like I take nothing.
I wish I could get off my antidepressants. It's just every time I've had a suicidal.
Okay, you need to do it at the same time as
Experience.
ketamine. They'll help you through it.
Cause yeah, that's been like my big thing is every time I get off, I'm like, I'm doing good. My life is figured out. Like, why would I need to be depressed? Like my life's great. But depression isn't just like the season of life you're in. Like sometimes you are depressed.
Yeah.
There's something off in your brain that's making you feel that way. It's not just because your life's hard or your life's good.
Yeah.
And so I would just like get off of it because I'd be like, I have a great life. But it's like, no, Josie, that's not why you're
Yeah.
depressed. Okay. So get back on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely have leaned towards wanting to be off of it. It's just scary because I've been on it for 11 years.
Yeah, that's hard.
So it's like terrifying. And
Well, research long-term effects of SSRIs and see if that convinces
oh
you.
no, it does though. And that's why I'm like, I want to get off.
But there's like hope and there's a way to get off of them.
Yeah.
Like don't be scared of like, what am I going to do if I'm not, or like I'm stuck in this chemical imbalance. You're not. Like
Yeah.
there are ways through healing your gut. There's ways like through treatments like ketamine. There are certain treatments out there that are alternative that are not just like a simple fix, but that will help you feel better than you ever felt before getting on them.
Yeah. No, totally.
And we can talk all about those things. That's like my passion. I love that stuff.
I love it. Are you going to start a podcast about it? I
Brett-
saw you were going to start a podcast with Brett.
Yeah, so Brett and I talked about it, and it is something that we do want to do. I feel like we decided to do it amongst like in the midst of all the craziness that happened, and then it just kind of took the back burner. But it's the one thing that we keep coming back to, and we're like, we just need to do it. But then I see like how much you put into it, and I'm like, do I have that in me? Again, it comes back to like the social media thing and wanting to just have more of a simple life. And like, do you regret starting it? Are you?
No, I don't regret it. I don't regret it. I love it. It's my creative outlet. But I was telling someone just the other day, my brain never shuts off. Like I'm always thinking about the podcast. I'm always thinking about ways to grow and improve and make it better and content ideas. And I feel like it strips away time where I could be present with my kids.
Okay.
And that's where I feel stressed about it. Cause I'm like, I love it. I love this. I love the people I meet. I love the conversations I have. I love the people I help that I give joy to and that they can escape their reality for a minute and just plug in their headphones and just listen and have a friend. I feel like I've made a lot of friends. I've helped people make friends, but it is just, you hit that moment where it's like, I'm nothing. Like, this is nothing. This isn't important. What's important is my family. I just need to be with my family.
Yeah.
But then it's like, but I also want like my own
Something
passion
outside of that.
and like, so no, this is important. And it's like this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And so I think with starting anything, you're going to have that struggle of just like balancing it.
Yeah.
But especially with me starting with nothing, like no following, like I've had to be so in it to have any success at all. Where I feel like if you start with kind of like a one up, like you have a following already, you already kind of have an audience and a community, maybe you can be a little less extreme with it and more chill. But for me, I've had to just grind the shit out of every day.
And you've done such a good job.
Well, thanks.
Oh my gosh.
It's really fun. I love it.
I was like your third podcast last year.
I know. It's
and
crazy.
Think about how much you've grown.
It's crazy.
That's admirable. Good job.
No, it's something to be proud of. And I see, my kids and especially Bentley, my daughter, I'm like, I want you to see that you can, because she has a very similar personality as me, just kind of loud and crazy. And it was always something that I wasn't embarrassed of, but my parents were always like, oh, Josie, she's a lot. Like she's a lot, and to show Bentley, like, it's okay to be a lot.
Yeah.
Like that you can be successful and still be a lot. And so
that's so cute.
That's another reason why I'm like, I like doing this. And she even is like, Mom, are you doing your podcast today? Weekly Trash? Like it's cute.
And she gets to watch you do something that you're passionate about. I think that is something that I need Maud to see me doing.
Yeah.
Because I'll find myself, because I don't have anything outside of like the occasional social media things and being a mom, I'll find myself with her being like, can you play? And I'm playing. Like the make-believe stuff to me is like, literally,
I don't want to do this.
I love a lot of things about parenting. That is one thing that I just like cannot get behind.
Yeah, no.
And I'll be like, oh no, I gotta go scrub a toilet, but
like, I need a vacuum real quick.
Yeah, and I don't want her thinking that. I saw a quote the other day that was like, remember, you're not raising a home, you're raising a child.
Yeah.
And I don't want her thinking that keeping up with a home is more important than her.
Yeah.
But I do think that it would be nice for her to see me putting in effort towards something that's either almost as important or equally as important to being a mom outside of being a mom.
Yeah.
Just so that it doesn't create that toxicity of your whole identity as a mom,
Well, and I think we kind of touched on like religious trauma, but growing up, the only thing I saw in my future once I hit the age of 12 was get married and be a mom. That was it. And that's what I did. I got married and I was mom, and I was going to live off my husband's income. That was our income, and it still is our income. Like that is his money's my money. My money's my money. Yeah. But like
exactly.
But like that's kind of all I saw for myself. And I would just picture, can't wait till I'm a mom. Can't wait till I'm a mom. And I love being a mom. But I also love having something that gives me purpose outside of it. And that was never something I saw for myself until I did it. And now I can't imagine my life without it. Like I can't imagine not doing this. Like there would be part of me missing. And so
I think that's just part of being a woman too. I actually love seeing the stuff that Amber Fillerup is posting too, because I feel like the pendulum always swings so far. And I feel like it went from, we're not just moms, we can work too. And not that stuff isn't important. There is like important aspects to that, but it's like, Yes, but also there are roles. Like,
Yeah.
don't cancel me for that. Like, Brett was like, if you ever bring that up, you're going to get canceled. I'm like, then cancel me. Like, I think that there are things that naturally women are better at than men. And I think that's for a reason. And the thing that I love that like Amber's posting and like a lot of women that I'm seeing is that it's less about being career and work and money focused and more of their masculine is more in the creativity.
Yeah.
And like stepping into, I guess that's more of like a blend of like a masculine feminine, but creating and finding a passion and a hobby and stepping into like whether it's painting or drawing or talking to people like this and connecting and or making a video or taking pictures, like that's all very feminine and in our and fits in our role as well and is important for our development and happiness as well. Yeah. So I'm more towards that kind of stuff, like this kind of stuff, than I am like go sitting behind a desk and like working and providing. To me, I'm like, I will stand behind this and I will say this till the day I die. That is the man's job. Like you provide.
You can do that.
You are the hunter and gatherer.
Yeah.
You provide the life. I will nurture and create.
Yeah.
You know?
No.
But like this is creative to me. This is like a creative outlet.
Well, I even told my husband, I was like, if this ever like becomes like financially where I could support us, like don't plan on it. Like, like, I don't want that pressure. I want to have that success.
Yes.
But I don't want to have that pressure. Exactly. And I will say I'm very privileged when I say that because a lot of women don't have that choice. They don't get to just be like, well, I just want to do this for fun and it's fun money. Like that's not an option for a lot of people. And I understand I'm very privileged in that way, but no, I'm 100% like, babe, you got that. Okay.
No, absolutely. I need to say, because I do not want to be canceled for that. I understand every situation is different. I grew up in a home where my mom provided like for us, you know? And I think that is why I have a little bit of an aversion to it. Oh yeah. Because I'm like, man, I needed you as my mom. And like, Dad, why didn't you step it up? You know? Yeah. And sometimes it's just like a single parent situation. And so every situation, trust me, I know I was a single mom for a short stint there and felt the stress of like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to make this happen, you know? Yeah. So I have sympathy and empathy when it comes to those things. I'm not as callous as I maybe came off saying that.
I wasn't. No, not at all. No, I think like my mom was a teacher. My dad, you know, my mom was a working mom basically my whole life. And I mean, there are things that she missed out on that I'm like she was in school and college to become a teacher when I was planning my wedding. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have any help planning my wedding. And I was like, and I look at Bentley and I'm like, when she plans her wedding, I'm going to be so up her ass. Like she's gonna be like, Mom, it's my wedding. Okay. It's my wedding. And I'm be like, okay, but we need to make sure that we do this and we do this and we do this. Like, I'm just going to want to overly be involved just because there was that little bit of absence when I was growing up. Totally. So,
and that's where the grace comes in of like understanding that like each generation does better and understands things a little bit better and understands that there's certain developmental needs that like they didn't quite understand. Yeah. And so it's not like a resentment thing or being like this, it's a cookie cutter, one shoe fits all situation. It's just you give grace where you can, but you also have your experience to take into your parenting and like what you want that to look like based on what you experienced, you know? So
100%. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't know how did we get here?
I don't know. I love that though. I love those conversations.
How did we get here? Because the question was about what we do illegal things. And that's what we call weekly trash. It just kind of goes everywhere. I think this was a really good redemption episode to me.
Oh, good.
I'm so happy
I feel good about it.
I feel great about it. And I think everyone's going to love it. It's definitely not as spicy.
Yeah.
Sorry, but I think
toned it down a little bit.
No, I think that's great. And like you said, you know, I want to be proud of things I do in 10 years. You know, I'm probably going to shoot myself in the foot because I say some crazy shit on here.
No, and I do the same thing. I'm not saying that in a way that I feel like everything I put out is going to be admirable. Like, I pride myself in being very honest too. And like that comes with the good and the bad.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
I think it's more just when you're in a situation where you can kind of control that a little bit more, just being a little bit more intentional.
Yeah,
with that.
For sure. Totally.
And you're the host, so it's different. Like you're dealing with a plethora of people and like different personalities and they bring out certain things in you. Like I have this one episode with you, so I want to get it right.
And you got it You got it right. It was
Good.
great. And we're
Glad
not
you-
deleting it.
Yes.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
I feel good about it.
Okay, you guys. Well, make sure to follow Demi on Instagram because she's hot and you need to. I don't see you on TikTok as much anymore.
I have not been posting on anything
Yeah.
recently. I go through these phases where I'm like sick to my stomach if I scroll TikTok, and then I'll be sick to my stomach scrolling Instagram. And right now I'm just like, okay, I need to get settled in my new house and like get settled and figure out what the next move is. And then I don't know.
Yeah.
I will be posting a TikTok though of Maud with her hair appointment today. So
I cannot
stay tuned for that.
wait.
It's gonna be so cute. She's so
I have all these like TikTok content ideas that I have to do that I'm like, how do TikTokers do it? Like, do they just like put their kids in a closet and say, stay there? Like I can't do anything. I'm like, I don't have time to do anything.
No, the extreme moms do, and I can speak from experience where I'm
Like-
kind of like, this is borderline. Like, are our kids okay?
Like you sit there, just stay. Sit, stay. Good.
No, really though. Like it gets extreme.
And I just like, my kids don't listen to a word I fucking say, so I
Yeah.
couldn't even do that if I wanted to. And so I just have all these things where I'm like, I need to do this, I need to do this, and then it becomes kind of a chore where you're like, I've kind of lost the fun part of it,
Yes.
the creativity part. It's now
Yep.
just like I need to do this because it's work,
Right.
and so but I'm like, I have so many TikTok ideas. That'd be so good. That'd be such good content. But also like filming it, like how you're like, I'm gonna film Maud's hair appointment. I will be like, I'm gonna film this, and then it happens and it's all done. I'm like, I didn't film it.
Yeah, no, that happens to me too all the time. That
But-
just means you're being present,
Yeah.
and that's not a
Yeah.
bad sign. More of that in this world.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see her hair. I'm excited to see what it looks like.
It'll be cute.
Are you gonna break the internet again?
I don't know. I hope that people are a little bit more understanding this time around. This is all her decision. Like everything has been her decision.
Yeah.
I haven't planted any of this in her head.
This is all her.
This is all her. So don't
Can't wait.
come at me.
Can't
for
wait.
this one.
Can't wait. No bleach. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
All right, you guys will have a wonderful weekend. I love you. And don't forget to take out your trash. Bye.